physical life as the life itself. Then the voice of the silence, she warns us, let not thy mind mistake the fires of lust that burn therein for sunlight of life. Life physical is but the vehicle of the real man, a ray of the spiritual sun, our true self, to serve whose great purpose we are here on earth in this body. Our life has any meaning and value only to the extent that we assimilate our divine prototype in heaven as much as possible in each life before the body dies. All the rest vanish into thin air. What vanishes into thin air? Our accomplishments, wealth, power, personal honors, enjoyments, all vanish into thin air at the end of the personal life on earth, and then we have to come back and reincarnate and pay our karmic debt, the things, the spiritual life that we were supposed to live, that we refuse to do so, either through ignorance or by choice. It is said that the terrestrial fire burns to ashes the body of the ascetic, but the fire is spiritual. What is that? The fire of spiritual knowledge burns away the dross of his lower nature and gives him immortality. In Secret Doctrine 2, page 105, she says, the spiritual fire alone makes of man a divine and perfect entity. Now we will open it for questions. It is very misleading actually to look at those pictures, because the sun definitely looks like it has fire on its surface and that it has light. It's like burning, it's incandescent, but it isn't.
That's a question.
Yes?
What does all this have to do with me? Are those principles the same with me? It sounds like the degree is something outside of me.
Which degrees are you referring to?
These principles, who am I anyhow? I'm told thou art that. Am I what you talked about today?
What
How's
does
that
that
possible?
thou art that refer to? Neither substance nor spirit. We are both. They're both aspects of the same reality. When Maha Manvantara, the great period, starts into activity, what comes about? We are told the spirit is the first differentiation from, not from, but within the absolute, and substance is the first differentiation of spirit, because first it radiates and then it emanates out of itself, the next plane of existence. It's not separate, because we just stated that the groundwork of the universe is consciousness, which is referred to in the Secret Doctrine, the primordial light. The primordial light. So the primordial light that we are referring to is life, light, consciousness, which is equivalent or synonymous with the spirit. And in talking about the sun, we just said that the visible sun, that is the center of our solar system, is a reflection of a reality which it hides behind. We couldn't look at it, because when the deity in the Gita showed itself to Arjuna, which is us, the lower self, by giving him the divine eye, Arjuna could not look at that light and fire coming out, because it represented like thousands of suns, and that we have to get prepared to be able to perceive it in ourselves. So each human being then has a ray of the central spiritual sun. This primordial divine light is everywhere. It has an existence in each human being in its spiritual heart. We are truly divine human beings. It's just that we don't know who we really are. We come from that divinity, and we are to go back to it once that we realize who and what we are, and prepare ourselves through the experiences of our earth life to do so. Because imagine being unprepared, and to behold that is like thousands of suns, we would be incinerated under its magnetic power and influence. Because look what it supports. Its reflection, the visible sun, is the reflection of a reality which it hides, and it supports the solar system. It is not incandescent. It is not incandescent. It does not have any heat in itself. But by showering the solar space with the electricity, the electrons, it gives life to all of the solar system. All of the globes absorb that energy according to its needs. So electrons then are the building blocks of life in our solar system. Electricity. Yes?
You just prompted a bunch of questions, but one I can remember is,
Okay.
you're saying that the sun doesn't have any heat.
No?
But if I look into science literature, I have a wide range of temperatures that the sun is, and it's very, very hot. Now, what's going on here?
Well, that's it shows the ignorance of our scientific experts, doesn't it? There is an article in volume 20 where it is stated what sun stands for us.
And I was just going to ask, like, in link, like, what the generation of this power? I mean,
The
not
spiritual.
burning is like a burning. I have a piece of wood, I burn. But if I don't have a piece of wood, how I burn?
Well, you have a body. You're
But if I don't
electrical.
well, but the sun.
The sun
Yeah.
is a reflection. It has a reality behind it, just like in the human being. When that power becomes active, it can give life as well as death. What are we talking about? Your spiritual self, correct? It's in your heart, but it is dormant. You have this divine light, which is a ray from this original source behind the sun, because that gives life to your spiritual aspect, the inner life of the human being. But this physical sun has its purpose. It sustains the physical body, because the electrons that comes from the sun, which it sprouts out, you have the pictures, circulate them if you wish, so that the newcomers can see it too. Sorry. Here's a picture of the sun, and it is exuding a stuff from itself, and it is explained that the solar system has a heart. What's the heart? The sun is its heart, and it takes 11 years for what the sun spreads out into the universe to do its work. What is it in the human heart? How many times does your heart beat per minute? Here, this heart takes 11 years to circulate its blood, which is electricity. That's its blood, but it circulates it into this system.
I just thought it was an analogy that might respond to Gabrielle and also my question to a degree. That sun emitting what it does, okay, comes in contact with matter, Is that what generates heat? I remember as a small child, I would take my glasses off and start a little fire with dry leaves because it would create a lot of heat going through my glasses.
In the
So
commentary,
are we creating heat? Is that what's causing the sun to get
What
hotter?
happens in the universe? What is a space filled with? What's akasha?
Matter,
What's akasha? Primordial
light.
primordial undifferentiated substance, which is referred to as primordial light. What is its ability? When things go through it, friction arises. It's the light going through it that causes heat to come about. And from heat comes moisture, which is water, which is necessary for this earth.
and everything is from the absolute, which is absolutely self-subsistent. It doesn't need anything. It has everything. Everything is included.
It says here, for it is taught that the visible sun is but a reflection in and on our atmosphere of the invisible, real, spiritual sun. As the sun arises every morning on our subjective horizon out of its subjective and antipodal space, so does the universe emerge periodically on the plane of objectivity, issuing from subjectivity, the antipodal of the former, which was referred to as darkness, because there is no one or anything to perceive it, so it is referred to as the darkness. The antipodal space out of which the sun arises every morning is this very central spiritual sun. Not my words, I'm directly reading from the Secret Doctrine. The hidden side of nature can only be reached by the hidden side of men, for the two are one, Herb, to answer your question. Men cannot know the spiritual sun behind the physical one by any external method. It is only by uncovering the divine sun in himself that the veil of the true sun falls away. The dual nature of the sun is expressed in this manner. The sun is matter, and the sun is a spirit. Our ancestors, the heathen, along with the modern successors, the Parsis, were and are wise enough in their generation to see in it the symbol of divinity, and at the same time to sense within, concealed by the physical symbol, the bright God of the spiritual and terrestrial light. It is the spirit of light, the firstborn of the eternal pure element, whose energy or emanation is stored in the sun, the great life giver of the physical world, as the hidden, concealed, the spiritual sun is the light and life giver of the spiritual and psychic realms in space and in man. Question? You had a question?
Well, it's not so much a question, I guess it would be a comment. You know, I guess we've all heard that saying, as in heaven, so on the earth. So I kind of thought if I could go back to school and take physics again, keeping metaphysics in my mind, I would probably understand both the physics better, maybe, and the metaphysics better. So it seems like this is symbology, that the universe is set up in a way to allow us to have something tangible as human beings till we evolve, till we can understand what is behind the veil, so to speak. So understanding what each thing represents in terms of how do you explain something that's diffuse? How do you explain anything that's up there that's unreachable, except by giving sometimes examples that are tangible in the gross world experience to try to understand what those dynamics are or those physics are, and then it becomes metaphysics.
No.
No.